The moon hung high over Morsel City, casting silver light over the rooftops. The air was still, thick with the scent of rain-soaked earth and burning firewood. Deep in the heart of the city, in a small clay house, Kojo lay awake, listening. Boom, boom, his breath hitched. There it was again, the sound of drums, slow, deep, calling. He sat up, straining his ears. The sound came from the forbidden forest, the dark stretch of trees beyond the village where no one dared to go. His grandfather had told him many times, "Never go near the forest, Kojo. The drums you hear are not for the living." But Kojo was 12, and curiosity burned inside him like fire. He slipped out of bed, careful not to wake his mother, and tiptoed outside. The night air was cool against his skin. He followed the sound, weaving through the narrow paths of the city. His feet moved on their own, drawn to the distant beat. Boom, boom, boom. At the edge of the city, he stopped. The forest loomed before him. The trees were tall and tangled, their leaves whispering secrets in the wind. Shadows danced between the trunks, twisting like spirits. Kojo swallowed. He had never stepped beyond this point before. But tonight, the drums seemed louder, stronger, calling his name. Kojo. He spun around. A boy stood behind him, arms crossed. It was Juba, his best friend. "Where are you going?" Juba whispered. Kojo hesitated. "Do you hear the drums?" Juba nodded. "I hear them every night." His voice dropped lower. "But we are not supposed to follow them." Kojo glanced back at the trees. "Don't you want to know who is playing them?" Juba shivered. "The elders say it is the spirit of the forest. Those who go looking for it never return." Kojo's stomach tightened, but fear only made him want to know more. "What if that's just a story?" Juba sighed. "I knew you would say that." He stepped forward, shoulders squared. "Fine, if you go, I go." Kojo grinned. He knew Juba would not let him go alone. Baba Odu placed the drum in front of him. "Then you must learn, now." Outside, the wind howled. The trees shook. The shadow of Okanji loomed over them, waiting. Kojo took a deep breath and reached for the drum. The test had begun. The shadow hunter Kojo's hands trembled as he touched the wooden drum. The carvings on its surface felt warm, alive. The fire in Baba Odu's hut flickered, casting Okanji's massive shadow against the walls. Boom. The spirit warrior took a slow step forward. Boom. The ground shook beneath his weight. His red eyes burned, fixed on Kojo. "One of you must take my place," Okanji growled, his voice echoing like thunder, "or the drums will never stop." Juba pressed against the wall. "Kojo, hurry!" Baba Odu knelt beside Kojo. "Listen to me, boy. The drum is magic. It will guide your hands, but only if your heart is strong." Kojo's heart pounded. He had never played the drums before. How could he defeat a cursed warrior with a song? Okanji raised his arm. The shadows around him twisted, forming a spear. He aimed it at Kojo's chest. "You are out of time." Kojo squeezed his eyes shut. His ears rang with the echoes of the drums in the forest. Their beat was ancient, deep, powerful. They had called him here, and now they whispered a rhythm in his mind. Boom, 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 boom. His hands moved. He struck the drum. The first beat shook the air. The hut trembled. Okanji staggered back as if hit by an invisible force. Kojo played faster. The rhythm grew louder, filling the room like a heartbeat. The carvings on the drum glowed brighter. Okanji let out a roar. "No!" Juba gasped. "It's working!" Okanji raised his spear, but as Kojo's hands moved, the shadows around the warrior began to break apart. The magic was fighting back. Boom, boom, boom. The hut vanished around them. The walls melted into darkness. Suddenly, Kojo, Juba, and Baba Odu stood in an endless battlefield, surrounded by broken spears and fallen warriors. The past. They were inside Okanji's curse. Okanji's form shifted. No longer a faceless shadow, he stood before them as a man, a warrior in golden armor, his eyes filled with sorrow. Baba Odu stepped forward. "Okanji, the gods cursed you because of your pride. You must accept your fate." Okanji shook his head. "I did what I had to do. I fought for my people." Kojo's hands moved on their own. The drum changed rhythm, becoming soft like a morning song. The wind howled through the battlefield. The fallen warriors began to rise, their spirits glowing like fireflies. Okanji turned in shock. His soldiers stood before him, not as shadows, but as men. Their eyes held no anger, only peace. One of them, a tall man with a scar across his face, stepped forward. "It is time, my brother. Let go." Okanji's shoulders slumped. His hands shook. For the first time in centuries, his red eyes dimmed. The battlefield faded. The forest returned. Okanji knelt before Kojo. "The curse is broken." he said softly. Kojo lowered his hands. The drum's glow faded. Okanji turned to mist. His spirit drifted upward, joining his fallen warriors in the sky. Silence. Then a final beat echoed through the trees. Boom. The drums of war had stopped. Juba grabbed Kojo's shoulders. "You did it!" Baba Odu nodded. "You have saved Morsel City." Kojo exhaled. The air felt lighter. The trees no longer whispered. The shadows were gone. But deep inside, he knew the forest was not finished with him yet. There was still one last test to come, the last echo. The night was silent. No more drums, no more whispers in the trees. The curse was broken. Kojo let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. Juba grinned, his hands still shaking. Baba Odu closed his eyes, murmuring a silent prayer. Okanji was gone. His warriors had found peace. Morsel City was safe, or so they thought. A sudden gust of wind swept through the forest. The trees shuddered. The ground trembled beneath them. Kojo's skin prickled. Something was wrong. Juba grabbed his arm. "Kojo, why is the ground shaking?" Baba Odu's face darkened. "Because the battle is not over." Before Kojo could speak, the earth beneath them cracked open. A shadow burst from the ground, twisting into the shape of a man, but it was not Okanji. This spirit was older, darker, stronger. Its body was made of smoke, its eyes like burning coal. It hovered above them, its voice deep and filled with rage. "You have freed Okanji," the spirit growled, "but you have awakened something worse." Kojo's heart pounded. "Who are you?" The spirit's eyes narrowed. "I am Obalu, the Forgotten One. The gods buried me beneath this land long before Okanji's time. His curse kept me trapped." Baba Odu's voice was grim. "And now, with the curse broken, you are free." The spirit smiled, a cruel, hungry smile. Kojo's chest tightened. He had thought saving Morsel City would be the end, but he had only opened the door to something worse. The air grew heavy. The trees withered in seconds. A dark fog spread across the ground. The forest itself was dying. Juba pulled at Kojo's sleeve. "What do we do?" Kojo didn't know. The drum had helped against Okanji, but this was different. Baba Odu turned to him. "There is one last way." Kojo's fingers clenched around the drum. "Tell me." Baba Odu's eyes were sad. "The drum is powerful, but it must have a guardian." Kojo's stomach dropped. "What does that mean?" Juba took a step back. "Baba, no, you don't mean." Baba Odu nodded. "Someone must stay in the forest and protect the drum. Forever." Kojo's hands turned cold. "No, the drums must not fall silent," Baba Odu said. "If they do, Obalu will rise again." Kojo understood. The forest needed a new guardian. Someone to keep the balance. Someone to make sure the drums of Morsel City never stopped. It needed him. Juba shook his head. There has to be another way. But Kojo knew there wasn't. This was why the drums had called him here. Kojo stepped forward. He placed his hands on the drum. It glowed softly, accepting him. The moment he touched it, the fog stopped moving. The trees stood still. The shadows vanished. The forest had chosen him. Obalu's eyes flared with rage. "You cannot stop me, boy." Kojo met his gaze. "I already have." He struck the drum one last time. Boom. A wave of golden light exploded from the drum, sweeping through the forest. Obalu let out a piercing scream as his body began to crumble. The curse was sealing him away. His form twisted and shrank, pulling back into the ground. The crack in the earth sealed shut. The forest exhaled. Kojo lowered his hands. He could feel it now. The life of the forest, the power of the drum. It was a part of him now. Juba's eyes filled with tears. "Kojo." Kojo smiled. "Go home, Juba." Juba clenched his fists. "No, I won't leave you here." Baba Odu placed a hand on Juba's shoulder. "He belongs to the forest now." Juba shook his head, his body trembling. "This isn't fair." Kojo stepped forward and placed the drum in Juba's hands. "Take it to Morsel City. If the drums ever stop again, come back for me." Juba wiped his eyes. "I will." Kojo smiled, but deep inside he knew the truth. He would never leave the forest. He turned and walked into the trees. The shadows welcomed him. The wind whispered his name, and behind him the drums began to play, soft at first, then louder. And in Morsel City, far away, the people heard them in their dreams, the sound of a new guardian taking his place.